So, what seems to be a bit of a gaming run this time. I found some interesting material on sort of why people quit World of Warcraft specifically, but MMOs in general, I think. And a number of them, a number of the reasons do seem to all come towards a feeling of addiction almost to it. And I suppose addiction isn't the right term with it, because I suppose to me an addiction is like a dependency that's almost kind of physiological. I think it's more of a psychological dependency, which can be just as harmful and require just as much effort to get out of. I mean, that's a psychological thing. You need to really sort of talk it through and sort of look at why you feel you can't do without it. But it's an interesting idea, because is it, as mentioned before, the people who are getting addicted, I'll use the term because it's easier, but the people who are getting addicted to it, is that sort of a predestined kind of addictive personality? Do they exist? I think it's likely. I think some people are more inclined to be addicted or dependent on things than others. Some people, can just literally, they could smoke for years and then just one day put it down. Other people could smoke for like months and try to put it down but can't. This leads me to believe that there's got to be something in people, whether it be psychological or genetic. And I think that can apply to anything that gives us pleasure. I mean, I suppose the addiction part could come into play from perhaps the rush of endorphins. It might be that they're addicted to. So then, I suppose the easiest way out is to find something else that gives them that same rush. But still, it's a very difficult subject. I mean, I personally quit, a number of MMOs because I was kind of having those as my life. They weren't like a second life; they were my life, and my life was my second life, if that makes sense. And it could, it did get to that point where that was more important to me than like eating, even, and that's not healthy. I think if you do know someone who seems to treat it more important than their daily, everyday activities, whether that's like, responsibilities such as work or just simple biological needs that they're foregoing, if you will, for the experience. Either way, I think if you know someone like that, I think it's intervention time. Whether it be psychological or chemical, it needs to obviously be addressed, because once something starts taking over your life, that's when it's excessive. So we have to kind of look at it quite logically in those regards. Like I say, it happened to me, and I fortunately had the wherewithal to go, no, this is too much. I'm doing this far too much. That's not healthy. That's not good. Stop it. But not everyone has that presence of mind. So I suppose, in conclusion, MMO addiction or dependence is a real thing. And if you do feel like you're too dependent, stop. It's the kindest thing you can do to yourself. If at a point down the line you feel comfortable in going back to it, then give it a try, but let someone know that you're giving it a try. And tell them to keep an eye out for you. Because with many things, the first addiction, once you're out of it, it's best to stay out of it. Often getting re-addicted can be a lot worse. So look after yourself, and as always, take care.